Hey, what's up guys? I have a really incredible product, truly awesome product here to show you guys today from Bluetti. Definitely well packaged, well wrapped in the box here with the charging unit. Looks like, yeah, we have the cable there. Ooh, nice. We have a 12 volt outlet charger, it looks like. Some quirky little cables here, 120 volt wall plug. We'll see what that is. And I got the blue unit. I actually didn't know what unit I was getting. So this here, I understand it, is your most basic package, and you have the unit itself, the charging adapter with a cooling unit. You can imagine this moves a little bit of power around with then a couple. You have a 12 volt, you have a 110 or 120 wall plug, you have a little Velcro cable tie, which is cool to include. Now you guys know I'm back on sort of an emergency or preparedness preparation kick here because we had that local emergency, and right now we're preparing for Hurricane Fiona that's coming up the East Coast, and we should get hit with it this weekend. We're not sure the extent yet, so I'm going around getting everything ready. And I think this is a perfect time to talk about this product, which is like a battery bank. It's an inverter generator that doesn't run on gasoline. It's just basically like a giant battery pack that's fitted out. It's an inverter. So it has all your ports and everything. It's just set up beautiful. I've been using this thing so much. My wife's sort of been chuckling at me because I've been playing with it around the house, even with the power on. And we sort of had this joke because I've been, like I said, lugging this thing around, and I've just been having fun with it. And she was kind of noticing that I was getting a little bit too much with it. So one night I went to bed ahead of her, and while she was still getting ready to bed. When she came in, pulled back the covers, I had this thing in her spot, snuggled into it in the bed. So it's just sort of been an ongoing joke, but to let you guys know that I'm really loving this thing. Now it looks really cool. It's only a little over 20 pounds. I would have chose the black version for me. I'm a traditional dude. The baby blue looks a little bit sissy to me. So maybe someday we'll spray paint it black, but it's not bad. It's just I would have chose the black. Even a dark red or something, the red one would have been fine, but the black or the gray I would have chose. But this thing is so cool. You have 4 110 volt or 120 we work with here outlets, 2 grounded here. We have a light right here, a couple different modes. Now, I'm not honestly that interested in the light, but it's cool to have on there, and I actually did use it one time. I needed it and didn't have my flashlight handy. We have a 12 volt plug here, so standard, like, you know, the cigarette lighter we call it, but they're not usually cigarette lighters anymore. We have a couple 12 volt plugs here, USB, USB-C, and then we have these buttons here to turn them on. And when you turn it on, this is one of the nicest features about the product, is you have this digital screen here, a little LCD monitor. Let me just click because it times out, you can see. And it's very clear. It shows a battery with the charge blocks up to 100%, 5 different increments, so you can watch it go down in 20s. And you have an input and an output. So most of the time you're using it, you're watching the output. How much juice are you using? Which has been a lot of fun. We'll talk about it in a second. Then you also have an input. So if you have it plugged in, whether you're charging, you're always going to charge with this port, but whether you're charging through a 12 volt from a vehicle, which you can do, they would give the adapter, or you're charging from a wall socket, or you're charging with a solar panel, you can see how much juice is going into the unit at a time. So that can be handy. Now what's really been the most fun is this output. You can see exactly how much juice you're drawing at a time. Let's take this thing back to the workshop. We'll start plugging in some things and watch the value readings of what we're drawing out of this unit. Now of course there are tons of different scenarios you can come up with for using a device like this. Lots of cool, and if you're someone with like a prepper mindset, you'll be all the time thinking of different uses and come up with different ways to use it. One of the things I love, you know, that morning that I was heading out on the search for the older gentleman here, if you haven't seen that, I snatched this because I said if we're in there overnight, and some searchers that already been in there overnight that night, and I heard stories after flashlights were going dead, people were losing power and things. If we're in there overnight, I can charge a lot of flashlights, and I didn't know how many of my lights were already charged. So I grabbed my bank here, and I can throw my charger bank in there, and I can bring all of my O lights. I can snap them all on to my charger just like that. And just like that, I'm charging 4 O lights here, and we're pulling between 6 and 7 watts, the screen is showing. So very little power draw. Yeah, it's ranging between 6 and 7 watts here, drawing from that. So I mean, I could charge a bunch of lights because we have a bunch of different sockets. We have multiple USB ports. I can just be charging everyone's lights, and we can top them up and be ready for the night again. So how incredible of a tool would that be to be able to show up on scene and have that there? And I don't think there was anything else there that could do that. And here's one thing that makes this even more unique. Yes, you could bring a gas generator and put there on site and charge everyone's lights, but when you're out in the dark of night and there's someone lost in the forest, do you think you want a gas generator running away? Of course not. You want to hear the faintest sound. Is someone calling in the distance? You want to be able to hear all those little things. You want to be able to communicate. You can't have a gas generator. Something like this you can have on site, and like I said, everything is just getting charged up perfectly. Now, summertime, tent camping season. This is my big shop fan. This is a big fan here. Let's see how it does. Lowest setting. Let's have a look there. And remember, we're still running that charger bank. So of course we're going to draw a lot more power on startup. Full power there now. Still only 120 watts or so. It's a sunny summer day. You're outside at the cabin with no power source. You want to sand the deck. You're running your flashlights, charging them up for the nighttime. You've got your fan on, keeping you cool and blowing the dust away. And you're sanding the deck. Watts in use there now. You put this under heavy load, you'd burn up a little bit more. 370 watt. At the same time, your buddy is running the jigsaw to cut some trim. And so all of that, and again, the fan was still running, the battery bank was still going, if you could hear me there, the jigsaw, the orbital sander, and we were still, reading 646 watts after that initial start peak. And it'll handle a nice initial start peak, and isn't that incredible? That is just wild to me that you could have this independent unit running like that, charging your phone at the same time. Just really, really cool. You're away from home, you got to charge that phone, you got your full wall socket set up here, and you're charging, no problem. Now, you've forgotten your wall block at home, which happens. Not a problem, you're charging here. Now you've forgotten your cable at home, which also happens. Also charging, wireless 15 watt charging right here on the top of the unit. Now there were a lot of cell phones in there that day that no doubt were running down. Maybe some people had the extended battery and stuff like that, but if we had been any longer, probably would have ran into cell phones dying and things like that. Probably was already happening. Limited service in there. Occasionally you get on a ridge somewhere and you get a little text out, but that's it. So those cell phones, pretty vital in getting information out as well. I mean, you can imagine the potential in this for charging handheld radios, VHFs and ham radios and things like that. So I'm extremely impressed. Absolutely love this thing. And I'm just tipping the iceberg, just touching the tip here for the things that you can come up with this thing. For emergency situations, just conveniences, camping, running your fans, charging your phones, running your lights around the campfire, up at the cabin, not needing to... You can watch your nighttime movie at the cabin without running the generator and stuff. We go up now and we have the whole cabin wired to a single 120 plug. We plug into the generator. Most things in our cabin, with the exception of maybe the kettle or something like that, that's 1500 watts, this thing could handle. Light bulbs in the ceiling, it could light our cabin for the evening with just this little quiet thing, just light outside on the bridge. Absolutely fantastic. We have power outages here at the house. Of course, you're not going to run your panel off of this, but you could bring this inside and still run your TV and your DVD player, your Netflix or stuff like that. If you've still got some internet, charge your phones. You could run a light duty appliance up in the kitchen or something like that. Just awesome. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button. If you're interested in this unit, down in the description, down in the comment section, there will be the links there provided for you. But I'm really, really thankful for Bluetti for sending this in. And I'm thankful to you for watching. As always, hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here. Leave me a comment down below. And I hope to see you in the next video.